Start.
Sure.
Okay, so we are here today with Maggie because we've just finished setting up an Eventbrite page for her next event that she's doing. You want to tell me a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I'm really excited actually because it was my mentor, my sponsor, who called me and said, "I'm going to come to Vancouver. Can you put together something so I can meet some of your people?" And I said, "Sure." So he's coming, and I am organizing a lunch. He's a fabulous speaker. He really is, Anyssa. He's just stunning as a speaker, and he's easy on the eyes too, which helps. And so he's coming on March what did I say, Tuesday the 2nd or 3rd, I can't remember. Anyway, we have an Eventbrite page set up for that. And what I'm looking for is people who want to come and listen to a very inspiring speaker. He is really versed and effective in the law of attraction, which a lot of people are interested in. And he's also going to help us to use a 5 pillars approach to building a business that you can build from anywhere. So I think that'll be an interesting topic for people.
We helped you produce an event like this last year as well. How many people turned out for that?
Correct.
Amazing event.
I think there were about 30, and it was out in White Rock on the ocean with my band playing, so it was pretty fun. And yeah, it was really good. He spoke at that as well.
So what do you find the hardest part about producing an event?
Well, marketing, to be honest. That's why I'm talking to you.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've been coming out to the ladies' meeting for probably 2.5 years now.
And I believe so.
We meet on the last Tuesday in Vancouver, and we've had up to 50 people show up at a time. And part of that has just been pure consistency, but also having other people bring in and invite, because we've created know, like, and trust. So I thought I've created a document here that we're going to put into the Entrepreneur Collective, and it'll be so if you're wondering about that, you can go to the entrepreneurcollective.com. And so this will help everybody who wants to create their own meetup or has to have an event, create an event marketing strategy, a timeline, have some templates, and just understand some of the tactics of creating an event. And for me, a lot of it is about building that know, like, and trust. As I have a speaker in every month to the ladies meeting, we started giving them some coaching and some tools to realize that they're there to fill up the room themselves. And a lot of times people come across as a public speaker, but they don't understand the timeline or some of the tactics that they need to do to fill the room. So for a big conference, for example, or a destination event, you want sometimes 8 months or 1.5 years to actually fill those events. We have a new member who specifically does European events. And so she wants a 1.5 year timeline to be able to book airline tickets, something you're having a challenge with today with booking your airline tickets. It takes time to organize all of that location, making sure that everybody's paid, a certain time in advance, because you need to know what your cancellation policy, things like that are. So no matter what kind of event you're going to produce live or even online, because for example, I do an online mastermind. Really, is it a build it and they will come mentality that's going to work? And the other one that I love is, and as much as it's very cliche, is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I've been to events where it's like, oh, this is a meetup and there's 3 people there, because they just figured if they put it out there, somebody's going to show up. But there's so many events out there, online and offline, who aren't necessarily targeting the right audience. They're not necessarily able to know who you are if you haven't created certain tools so that people can find, know, like, and trust about you. And often they haven't taken the time to create the mailing list. They might have gone to a whole bunch of BNI meetings, but never actually created a mailing list out of all those stacks of business cards that they've gotten and received. So they haven't really got the value out of attending their events. Or what we do at the ladies meeting, for example, is we encourage people to actually meet with someone twice and actually get to know them, and as opposed to just talking to someone online or just handing a bunch of cards out, because then you also instantly have someone who can refer you, right? So that can help you create venue traffic for your, like the event page that we just created. We'll have the ladies meeting again shortly. And now everyone that is at the ladies meeting can become a referral partner for you, right? And so that's super easy traffic to your Eventbrite page. And one of the ways that we do that, for example, with our speakers, have them create a speaker one page, and I'll go through that a little bit later. Basically, you want to keep creating, you're doing this event over and over again, so creating some influence and making it an event that's financially viable too, because you don't want to show up and have no one else show up, and you've made all this effort. And no matter what size event, whether it's cost you a lot of money, it's cost you time and effort and your own personal capital to be there. When I come down from Whistler to do the ladies meeting, I've instantly spent about $300 before I even show up, because I've taken usually 2 days to come down to Vancouver. I've got breakfast and lunch to purchase. I have gas, insurance, taking time to actually even just evaluate what your event is going to cost properly isn't something some people do. I, for example, have an Eventbrite membership. I have MailChimp. I have Dropbox. All of those things are part of the cost of having your event and doing your marketing. I have an Adobe Spark image creator subscription that costs me money so that I can instantly resize all of my marketing pieces so that I can pop them up onto Facebook and LinkedIn and things like that. But you need those tools, you need techniques, and you need channels so that you can let people know about your event and create that social capital that will get them to actually purchase from you. Any questions so far?
Well, I'm so impressed with what you do, Anyssa, and you have the details that I lack. So I'm really appreciating your support in this.
Well, you keep adding to them though, and you keep adding tools, right? So you were able to log into your Eventbrite, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. You're doing it about once every 3 or 4 months. I do it sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. So, it's like we were talking about, it's the volume of how often you do something. I can create entire business a day for someone because I can go through and create I know how to create a website, like we were talking about. I used to create them while my little kid was on my lap, and both of us have pressed a lot of wrong buttons to learn how to press them right. It's that investment into that personal capital to be able to use the tools. And like we were just saying, I was saying earlier, is version 10 is better than version 0. And you're a Luddite, one of your favorite words, but honestly, you're not, because you took the time to have version 10 versus version 0, which is most people. They sit and think about creating the event and they never actually do it. You're far from a Luddite.
Oh, thank you.
One of the stories I wanted to just tell as well, because it's about creating that little bit of capital, is within, and I'm going to guess that the Rolling Stones concert is probably sold out in minutes. I'm going to guess. I don't know what the facts are there. But literally just a week ago, I heard a small, and I live an hour and a half out of Vancouver where the event's going to take place, and our local radio station, the Mountain FM, started mentioning that people were seeing little lip stickers around Vancouver. And that was a sign, because no one really believed that they were going to do another tour. And it was like, are they going to do a tour? I was like, I posted to Twitter asking, I got no response. And literally within a week, I have friends that have tickets who paid $1,000 to go and get great seats at the Rolling Stones. And I think I think they're coming in September. The point is, it took them, 40 years to create the kind of capital that they can literally put a sticker out and people know they're coming to town. And it took a lot of capital and a lot of time to invest that know, like, and trust that that's what that means. And so even if you can't do it on that big level, you can start creating your sense of know, like, and trust with people that, for example, with Michael, when he's coming to town, as you build trust in you and have your speaker sheet and create events, little mini events, and your web funnels that might add value to people, you're going to start next time. So Michael's coming this month, and he's going to come again in 6 or 8 months probably. And as you build that, more and more people are going to get to know what it means when you start offering certain things, that he's coming, and then they're going to get value towards that 5-pillar system so that they can be free to go travel the world and make money at the same time, right? So Your event marketing, you start with your best ideas, and it will catch some people's attention, and it will bring great ideas, your great ideas, into view, which is, you guys have the 5 pillars. What are the 5 pillars?
Well, it's all about the 5 pillars of wellness, which applies to life and any business. I think it's about having a healthy body, healthy mind, which I think is the most important pillar, healthy relationships, healthy community, and healthy finances.
And that's going to attract a certain kind of person and create a social capital with them. And therefore, once you've created that capital with them, they're going to be okay becoming a pipeline for you to bring leads in as well. Because, for example, the people that went to your past event, I heard people talk about it and rave about it. You guys had wine while looking on the beach, and it was an amazing event. So the next type of marketing, so that's building know, like, and trust with individuals, is looking at business to business event marketing. So maybe there is another business that you can partner up with that you have like-minded clients, but very different markets, but they might be a good fit for Michael's talk. Right. And they're not going to become direct salespeople, but maybe they become customers, right?
Right.
So what kind of experience you've had with that?
With partnering with other companies? Well, when I meet with people individually, I collaborate. So I find out what they offer and I tell them what I offer. And often people will purchase products, from our company and from theirs.
Right. So kind of like Charito, who is a member of the ladies meeting, she sells essential oils. And when she collaborates with another business, like a physiotherapist or someone who's doing natural, like physical modalities, and they need their essential oils, kind of like some of your products, those can be a really win-win collaboration. Right? And often you want to find those people that have a mailing list bigger than yours, and you can create some sort of joint venture or partnership that's going to be a win-win for both of you. Maybe they're promoting your event, and maybe you have a product or a service. So for example, maybe you have a coupon for a massage, right? When you at your event, or when they buy a ticket, they get 20% off an appointment with somebody, right? So, because they've shared your list, so you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And that can be really fun, and especially if you start doing it over the long term with the same people all the time. So don't think of things as one-offs, because if you're going to do events over and over again, then create partnerships that start to take hold and take value, because those mailing lists may need to see you up to 10 times before they're actually going to click and purchase a ticket from you and believe that you are who you say you are. The other thing that someone like that can do also is often, so for example, our members of the ladies meeting, if anybody wanted to offer that to someone, you might offer them an early bird discount. And there's a mailing list of quite a few hundred that I could offer, for example, to send out, that if you sign up with Maggie now, she's only got 30 spots available at this luncheon. But if you sign up with us today, you can get your early bird discount. I actually saw a three breakdown event where they had an early bird discount for $250, an on-time discount for $275, and this was for a 2-day live seminar. And then if you wanted to go after, I think it ended up being 2 months before the event, you're paying $900 for the 2 days. Wow. That's a massive savings, but what it does is it lets you fill the event and cover your costs as you do that event. And the other thing too is have some pre-event offerings as well. So if someone's sending out something to their mailing list, you might have, like, we're working on a sleep masterclass together. So that's something that you could put on your pre-event page that lets them get to know who you are, what your values are, why they might want to work with you, get to work with you, or buy your products, and know, like, and trust you. And that's something you can put up on your website. You can also do it as a blog. So creating that on YouTube and uploading it to YouTube then also makes it reusable. So the more times that that's been viewed, the more times Google likes you, but more, if I see a video that's been watched even just 100 times from somebody local who I may not know has a massive business, but I know they've got 100 views on that video, that I'm like, oh, this must be something. And you can take that video and reuse it every time Michael comes. So eventually you're going to have more views on it. And that's a really cool trick. There's a bit of a challenge between doing Facebook Live and doing the YouTube videos, because I know I just tried to boost a YouTube video and it didn't like that. It really wanted me to do a native upload.
Hmm.
So there is a challenge between having something that it's easier to reuse YouTube content versus that live content that you upload to Facebook. But little trick is to do, for example, right now we're on Zoom and we could do a Facebook Live. It then gets recorded. We save that and we upload that to YouTube. You've got kind of a win-win there too. So you've got a live event posted to Facebook through Zoom. I'm not sure if you have to have a subscription, because I do pay for a subscription to.
I have a subscription too.
Yeah, so you don't get cut off in the middle. I remember in the days when I first had Zoom, it was like, yikes, we got to get this interview done in 25 minutes. But now I'm doing 1 and 2 and 3 hour courses sometimes, so you need that extra time, and also that event content that now you can offer. So even if you're like what we're doing today, we're going to record this, we can offer this as event content into the Entrepreneur Collective. And so we haven't even really touched on social media as much as YouTube and Facebook are social media. Having a social media plan, marketing plan, say six, what are you going to do for the 6 weeks? How many posts are you going to do? Are you going to schedule some posts? Are you going to do maybe a live event that kind of tells people about it? Some people do a 30-day before their live launch of an event or something like this. They'll do a 30-day Facebook challenge. We've all seen the 30-day Facebook challenge every day. Sometimes those can be a little exhausting. I know you already do something every morning with your team. You do like a little check-in. And so obviously you don't find that hard and enjoyable, and that's that your commitment to your business. So adding a little Facebook message, maybe even if it's really short, like a little sleeping tip on sleeping or health or wellness or water each morning for say 10 days before that event. And then, hey, if you want to find more about how I do this and how I can take this and fly to Toronto and still keep my business running and hang out with my grandkids, then come out and see Michael live and I'll talk to you in person, or come out and see me at the ladies meeting on the 24th. If you're interested, I'm happy to meet with you afterwards. And then, if you think you want to come out to the luncheon, hey, that's great. If you've come and met me there, then I'll give you the 30% off the ticket. So there's lots of little offers that you can do 6 weeks up to the event through social media, through Twitter, through LinkedIn, doing articles on LinkedIn or posting that. You can actually do LinkedIn Live now, which a lot of people don't. It's kind of cool. And then looking again back just at who your partner outreach is, and that might be through other members of the groups that you're in, and interview them and have them interview you. So sharing like what we're doing. I've asked if you would partner with me to record this a little bit more about how to set up it. We've gone through an Eventbrite setup. We're going through some event marketing strategies, and we're going to share this. Your win is that more people are going to know about your event, and I get to share some really good strategies with people. So there's a partnership right there that we've set up. So who do you think you could, like write a list of 10 people that for the next 6 weeks you could partner with to just do Zoom events or do little Facebook Lives, or maybe you go meet them at a BNI, business, if you don't know that, Business Networking International, and you can get actual paper tickets with you. We went out to, when Roger Killen did one of his last events, went out and handed out live ticket, like actual paper tickets, ladies meeting, and expanded the influence of the ladies meeting through going to an event, like quite a large speaking event, and giving out tickets and then waiting people to come out for drinks with us afterward. That was fun. So we felt a little bit more know, like, and trust, so that when they maybe see me on Facebook doing some training for the ladies meeting or a joint venture with one of our speakers, because we always do a masterclass with the speakers, then I'm not a stranger, right? It's like, oh, that name, I know that from somewhere, right? We build a little bit know, like, and trust just by going out and becoming something tangible as well, right? paid promotion, obviously. Have you ever done any paid promotion before?
Mm-hmm.
What did you find worked?
I found that for some reason I didn't get a lot of results, and it probably was my inexperience, to be honest, Anyssa.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it takes that 10 times.
Yeah.
And often you don't actually have to spend that much money. It's about finding out exactly who your target market is. So Facebook advertising, you could literally spend $1 a day and build, and there you're marketing. You're building probably more know, like, and trust versus a direct sale. And Google AdWords, which is a little bit more challenging, what we're finding is because Google owns YouTube, doing YouTube ads through AdWords can be really effective, because even over the next 2 weeks, if someone is interested in water and wellness, they can target that person back. And it's so much smarter than you. You know what I mean? Like they say that Facebook knows within 1 second of a person, 1 second of your video, what person should be watching it. They have so much big data on people.
Yeah.
So trusting Facebook, for example, don't try and pick all of the demographics. If there's an option basically that says, just trust us, and you need to just trust them because they really do know what they're doing. It's their business. We're paying them for a reason. And Facebook is still, as Gary Vee will tell you, one of the best ways to target people at the lowest price.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But again, you might eventually make that sale over on LinkedIn or through that direct contact, but they saw you first on Facebook. And one of the really cool parts too about Facebook is you can get them through Facebook messaging. Maybe you see that they're interested in your video, taking the time to then send them a direct invite to some sort of download, and then getting them onto your email list. But even to this day, I see so many people who are not using social media to get people onto your list. Your blog and your amazing offer should always be in the middle of all of your social media, right? The whole point of social media is to get them onto your mailing list.
Mm-hmm.
Or even more targeted. I've just finished doing a course with Dean Graziosi and I can never say his last name, and Anthony Robbins, and he literally is texting me. He's texting a group, but it's so personal. He's like, hey, I'm sitting on my sofa with my wife reading all of your messages. And yeah, I do believe that he is actually reading all of our text messages. He's not responding to each one individually, but him and his team are actually reading all of our texts. And we've all gone through this really specific course on training mastermind groups and some software and stuff. And wow, it feels really personal. And that's that next level after email. But the email is where you can definitely make a sale. If they've seen you on Facebook, seen you on LinkedIn, maybe they've seen your speaker one sheet out at an event, or your business card that's going to, like with Maggie, she's got a business card that matches the logo that's going to be on the event. And, you know, it may take 10 times for them to put that all together. It may take an event going by and them eventually showing up. I have people that said, I saw you guys 3 years ago and I've finally decided to come.
Yeah.
Right? We had somebody come last week, just before, it was the November meeting, and she came all the way in from, oh no, maybe it was January, came all the way in from Chilliwack by bus or something. It was insane. It was like the amount of effort was beautiful. I was so honored.
Mm-hmm.
Something a lot of people don't do anymore, but is still important, is creating an event press release as well that can really help. And you can send that out to the press, literally. And it's so easy by email. If you're smart, you can also follow up with a phone call and say, is there anyone who'd like to come to this event? I mean, you might find a writer or a blogger who'd like to come out and is going to promote the event for you ahead of time by doing an interview with you. There's lots of ways that a press release, an event press release, can help you for your brand now and for your future brand. Many of us remember Bela. She worked for Business in Vancouver. She was one of their writers, and she put, sadly she's passed and she's no longer with us, but she put the ladies meeting on the map. She got us into the magazine, front and center, on the cover, you know, along with many other women in business networking groups. We weren't the only one, but boy, did that feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Felt really good. And that was just to her call someone. I don't know who it was. It was I think it might have been Debbie who had recommended that Bayla find out more about it. And she called me and we just did an over the phone interview. I sent her some photos, and then it was like 6 months later, all of a sudden this magazine comes out, and she ended up coming to the group as well. And I think she got some really good support there on her journey out of this world. A lot of people went and sat with her, and yeah, that was amazing. As you're writing that press release, you need to think about what is that hook, as well as you're writing any of your content here. The rule for attracting people to your event is them self-identifying with someone who needs to come to that event. And that's going to be your hook. So that you have a hook, a story, and you have a close over here. And sometimes you got to hook them, tell them a few stories before you close the sale. So you have to think that through and just put yourself in there. Like who in the room is going to put their hand up when I say, does anyone here want their water to be their wealth, right? How many people want it to be that simple? And who would put their hand up, right? So thinking through what kind of hook do you need to get people out to your event? How many people here want to be able to make money while they travel and have an online business? They don't have to carry products with them. Maybe you're already retired and you just need a little top up to your income, or maybe you want to be able to do this full time. We'll come out, we're going to show you the 5 pillars of running a business that aligns with who you are, with, you know, how you want to take care of the world, products that you can be proud of, things like that. So finding that person who's in alignment with the business that you're doing is going to be key into that messaging that you put out there. So figuring out what your hook is. And I've actually emailed you, Maggie, a little bit on your masterclass you're going to be doing. So it helps you think through that process. That sheet that I sent you is actually from the mastermind training that I took from Tony Robbins and Anthony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. And I found it life-changing to just have all of these sheets and this work to do, because sometimes you just need the right questions to know what people want to hear. Right? I always say university for me was just about learning what the right questions were.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So 2 more things, because it's getting to be a little bit of a long video. I don't want to drag this on forever. Thinking about what your last email blasts are going to be to make those final closing sales. And also, maybe you need to pick up the phone. Long time ago, my kids are 25 and 23. When Garrett was a baby, the 23-year-old, he was 2. I did Pampered Chef. And the key to a Pampered Chef or a Tupperware party was you had to invite a minimum of 40 people to get 8 people to show up. And you had to call everyone within 2 days of the event. And it was just like a golden rule. If you didn't do that, nobody showed up. Right? So maybe it's a text message, or maybe it's finding someone to help you make those phone calls of people that purchased, and then maybe saying, hey, thank you for purchasing. We'd like to give you a bonus if you have somebody that you'd like to bring as well. And you don't want to go and offer a half price ticket to someone who just paid full price. Maybe you can add something value added. Hey, thanks for buying a ticket. If you bring somebody else, this is almost like a referral or an affiliate program. We're going to give you, for example, maybe a $20 off coupon for a massage or something that's in alignment with what you do. Or, for example, I signed up for the Tony Robbins course, and I got mailed a water bottle, a cap, a book, an actual, what do you call those notebooks?
Journal?
Moleskin journal. A great little welcome to the family box. It was pretty cool. And then in one of his talks, he's like, hey, my son's back there putting together these boxes. He might be a rich kid, but he's got to work for it. It was great. So you got to see, and then it showed up at my door, and it was awesome. It was great. So what can you do to make those connections? Even though I know he's talking to the 16,000 of us that were in the course, still really brought it home that was being packaged, and then it showed up in my mailbox. So what can you do to your attendees to make them feel like part of your family and really feel deeply connected to what you're doing? That can make a really big difference. And that makes, and creating that influencer outreach, right?
Yes, got it.
You've built that.
So I can go back into Eventbrite and put in an early bird ticket, which would be a discount, and also something I can give in return for people buying early, and then the regular price, which expires the week before the event or something?
Yeah, there's that, you know, go look at,
Okay.
you can look at what other people do. And in the, I've sent you a worksheet with this that I'm still editing.
You just froze there. I don't know what you said.
Oh, sorry. In the I sent you a worksheet with this too. There's some extra little videos and things. One that I really recommend is one of Simon Sinek.
Hmm.
To it, I highly recommend just go spending 10 minutes and listening to his TED talk about why people are going to show up for you.
Start with why. Yeah.
Yeah, really important.
Hmm.
Oh,
Great. Thank you. That's very helpful. And I'll look at all of the information you sent me, and I'll probably be in touch soon.
awesome. I'm just going to stop the video now.